bitch. You need to keep quiet, you know. We are going to review some old of pictures of mine. You know what? Welcome back to the bodybuilding stage. We are going to review some old pictures of mine. I guess it was the beginning of me when I started my first transformation. Few of the pictures will be from the even the older times when I wasn't into bodybuilding, just to give you a glimpse of how drastically I changed after bodybuilding. Kind of changed me as a person as well. So without further ado, let's dig into the photos and I'll go through all of my memories, few of the pictures that I've selected for this video. Anyways, let's dig in. Oh, the first one that comes up is with Mr. Prakharsh, very dear friend of mine. He has a channel by the name Console Authority, and by chance I'm sitting in his workspace and reviewing my photos. Thank you for that. And this is the first picture or the first day that I worked out with him. I didn't had much of muscle, as you can see. There are no definitions, no muscle at all. It was just straight out of bed into the gym, and all I had is a dream to have a nice physique. Every college going student wants to have a nice physique, to flaunt it, but my purpose was something different. I had to prove something to myself. I started bodybuilding. But anyways, we'll go to the next picture and see what we can. Oh, this one. My god, this picture is so old that I don't know. Even the Harappa and Mohenjo-daro will be ashamed that they call themselves the first civilization. Anyway, this is a really old picture. See how thin I am. How stupid do I look? Let's move on to the other picture. Oh god, don't tell me I selected this one for the review. Don't tell me. Who did this? Are you Mr. Prakharsh Tiwari? Did you do this to me? Did you select my pictures? But anyways, I did this. Yeah, I did look like this some point of time, or in a parallel space in a different universe. This is me with some shades on in a restaurant. Anyways, boy, don't do that. Don't do that. So this is one of my pictures from my college, and this is really something that I'm not ashamed of. This is who I am. This is who I was before getting into bodybuilding. It was just beginning for me at this point of time. This is me doing a survey which was assigned to us in the college, and with a hoodie and the cap on, looking like a dog. But anyways, we all go through that phase of looking stupid and puberty, hitting puberty or hitting manliness. But anyways, this is one of my pictures. Let's move on to the next. This picture is just right after the first day that Mr. Prakharsh and I completed our workout. I asked him to take some pictures, and he did. This is around the winters, I guess, 2015, I guess. Yes. So 2015 or 14. I don't exactly remember the year, but yeah, it was in the winter time that we started bodybuilding. Okay. Again, this is from the same day, and as you can see, you saw the picture from the back, and now you can see the picture from the front. I have zero amount of muscle on my chest, zero amount of abdominal muscle, zero amount of any muscle just just a picture, just a guy who just entered into the gym, had no clue what to do, um, and just curiosity to learn, which kept me going and going and going. And let's move on to the other picture. Yeah, it's the same picture. Same. The one thing that I'd like to point to my viewers is, do you see the posture of my back? How arched it is? I mean, I'm not in a correct shape right now. Like, this is really bad. I didn't know until I had the right posture that my body didn't had the correct posture. But anyways, it really affects the way you stand, or the way you walk, or the way you look. So yes, I didn't had a really great posture over before I was working out. Let's move on to the other picture. We are done folder. Let's move on to the other folder. The old. Let's start with this. Have here. Oh, this is a picture. I just came back from Agra. I went on a trip with my friends, a small trip, and I came back and I hit the gym immediately. I didn't want to miss out, just because I was in the middle of having a change in my body. I was like feeling it. I did feel very healthy, as you can see, and I didn't had a lot of muscle at this point. I wasn't using any supplement, to be exact. If I remember exactly, I wasn't using any sort of supplement. I was purely on the diet, chicken and rice and whatever vegetables I was using. So this was without any sort of supplementation, and I was really feeling great from the inside. Given that I didn't had any muscle on, not any muscle, but a little bit of muscle on. And let's move on to the other picture. Yay! What the hell is this? Me? It is me. Okay, so this is a picture where you can clearly see that I was working out, but the diet wasn't giving the result to me. It wasn't paying off. Yes, as you can see, I didn't had any definition. I might have gained a bit of muscle because I was able to lift heavy. One thing that your body responds to is when you are continuously putting your body in, like, to strain, it develops some amount of strength, and you are able to lift weight. It does not translate into muscle. It does not necessarily translates into muscle, and you need to keep that in mind, that sometimes you jeopardize yourself by lifting more than what you can lift. It's just a perception that you can lift more weight, but you shouldn't. You should actually try to gradually develop strength. The muscle will itself allow you to lift heavy weights. This was the exactly case which I was going through. I don't know exactly, but I did a little bit of ego lifting, not that too much to jeopardize myself. I had very in check attitude towards the weights. I gradually increased the amount of weight that I used to lift. Here a picture. You can see in this picture that I have lost a little bit amount of fat that I had on me, but I haven't gained too much of muscle. as you can see, a bit of rounded shoulders, a bit of abdominal muscle, a bit of chest muscle. Yes, you can see a bit of muscle here and muscle there, but I didn't had very significant amount of muscle over here. It was just the time when I was transforming from having no muscle to building muscle and to losing fat, as my diet consisted of simultaneously gaining lean and losing fat. So I was working towards the aesthetic physique rather than I was going for like gaining first and then shredding. Let's move on to the other picture. Yeah, this is a picture from my hometown. I visited the gym in order to keep the consistency going. As you can see, I'll zoom in a little bit. I'll zoom in a little bit so that you can see the picture a little bit clearer. Here you can see that yes, I did develop some sort of fat around my belly. The belly fat is really very difficult to lose, and the chest fat, because it's the part where the fat gets deposited the most easily. The love handles, man. Wow, so ugly. So yes, this is the time I was trying to keep up with my consistency. I was hitting the gym regularly. In my college, when I was in college, even then I was trying to keep the consistency going, and when I visited my hometown, even then I tried to consistently hit the gym and not lose any day. So this was it, trying to keep the consistency. Let's review another photo. What happened to you? Let's move on to the other picture. Yeah, here you can see no amount of muscle on my body. Little here, little there, but not very significant. I would say, yeah, I was into gym for a year and two around this time, but I wasn't getting the result just because of my bad eating habits. But anyways, let's move on to the other picture. What is going on with this? We're done with this folder. On to the other folder. Yeah. So yes, this is the point where I was taking supplementation, multivitamins, protein. To be specific, I was taking whey protein and casein. And my body started to show some significant difference and lose fat at the same time. I drastically changed my diet from eating a lot to eating just 1500 calories for around 6 months, I guess, and I started to shred very quickly and gain muscle at the same time, because I was keeping a track of my protein intake. I was taking around 120 grams of protein a day, and yes, the results started to show up. And as you can see, I gained a little bit of muscle on my shoulder. They are starting to look a bit rounded. You can see the chest muscle, the upper, the middle and the lower starting to show up, the bicep getting separated, the fat over the bicep getting less, and my forearms, you can see the nerves, veins, I would say, and yeah, this is from the front. Let's move on to the other picture. This is a side profile, and as you can see, the lat, it's more taper. I started to develop some back muscle as well, but as you can see, I still don't have the lateral deltoids. It was as like developing the lateral deltoids has been really a difficult task. You can develop the middle delt and the rear delt very easily, but developing the lateral, the front delt is like really very difficult. And as you can see, I always like, I was like gifted with this, or this is into my gene, but then I always had good trapezius muscle, which is evident over here. I had really nice traps, and yeah, let's move on to the other picture. This is the same picture from front. We'll move on to the next because I don't have to describe a lot in this, already did. You can see, yeah, you can see the lat muscles developing over here, and some sort of definitions that is starting to come. And the most visible difference when I am posing like this is the chest muscle and the shoulders, like the deltoids and the bicep and the tricep getting separated. Like every muscle has its own separation, and it looks really nice. This is the photo that I took after quite some time, when I switched onto my low calorie diet. And yeah, you can see it made a difference. But anyways, keeping the energy going, let's move on to the other picture. It's the same. Yeah. Do I need to tell you something about this one? No, I don't think so. Let's move on to the back. Yeah. One of the muscle which was really favorite of mine, and I don't like to say. What do I say? There is no favorite muscle of mine, but I cannot deny this, that I love doing the back workouts just because it's more controlled, and I can pump more power through my back than any other muscle. Like, I really love working on my back. So this trapezius muscle, the shape that is starting to develop is what I was trying to achieve. The rhomboid muscle trying to get in shape, the lat getting wider, the V taper, all this and that. This is what I was trying to achieve, and to a point I did achieve it. And you can see the separation of deltoids. This was a really motivating picture of mine when I saw my back, and I kept on going. Let's move on to the other picture. Okay, the most fundamental part of a human being, or what do I say? Yeah, legs are important. I'd like to say that legs are important. It is one muscle that differentiates you from other bodybuilders. Yeah, it does really matter. So yeah, what I wanted to say about my legs, I really focused on my legs, and from the beginning itself I was not shying away to work on my leg. The kind of mass that you are able to see over here is just because from the first day of my workouts, I never skipped legs, and even till day I don't plan to skip leg days, because man, it's some sort of magic when you see your legs so thick and your calves so big. So yeah, I did a poetry right there, then and there, so you can actually see how great of a difference that makes in a man. It can actually make you a poet, and I didn't even know it. Anyways, moving on to the other picture. Yeah, this is it in this folder. Let's move on to the other folder. Yeah, third. So this is a picture where the V taper was completely visible. I could see the V taper it was really prominent. Even when I was wearing clothes, it was prominent that I was into bodybuilding and my body was completely like in shape. The posture that I was talking to you about earlier in the first picture that I showed to you got corrected till this image. This was around it took me around 3 years or 3.5 years to get to this point. I know it took some real amount of time, but believe me, it wasn't easy to get here. A lot of factors depend that you have to keep in mind. So just to be real, I would say that if it took me 3 years or 3.5 years to get till here, don't think that I wouldn't have achieved this in shorter period of time. But all those 3 years that I put into bodybuilding was my learning years. I learned a lot about bodybuilding and my diet and myself and living a healthy lifestyle. And towards the fourth year into bodybuilding, I actually saw the transformation. So this is the fourth year, I guess. Yeah, this is the fourth year. So I saw the big transformation coming up, like my body starting to show differences. Let's move on to the other picture. It's the same. A little bit of close up. You can see the V taper. This is from a different angle. Still trying to show you the V taper, and you can see the rear deltoids and the trapezius muscle and the lat muscle getting developed over here. And just because of all of that, it combined into a whole aesthetic. It added towards the aesthetic physique that I was trying to work towards. Moving on to other picture. Yeah, this is exactly the same. As you can see, the rear delts, like they are more prominent. I was trying to put some light over the tricep head, but it wasn't possible. So yeah, let's move on to the other picture. This one, yeah, you can see the legs. Why did I pick this picture is specifically just because of legs. As I was saying that I never skipped my leg days. It was one of the most exhausting workout days for me, the most enjoyable day as well, because after doing legs, it was kind of an achievement. Doing it consistently, week after week, I wasn't able to walk actually. What happened was, funny story. It was like in the beginning days when I started working out. As you know, when you work out, the lactic acid builds up in your muscle, and after your workout day, the other day is like you cannot walk, you cannot get up, or you just can't walk. So I had to walk, like I limped walking. I had to climb 5 stories to get to my classroom in my college. But yes, I did that. Even like I didn't stop at that point. Like I limped, but then even then I didn't stop. Let's move on to the other picture. That's the amount of dedication that I would like to tell you. But then let's move on to the other picture. So I'll tell you a different perspective. Yes. This is it for this folder. Yes. I hope like this is not getting long. If it is, please consider liking, sharing and subscribing to my channel. I've been trying to put some really good content out here, and I'll be putting out more regular content over here. You can cut that, bro. Okay. So this is the point. Just after the workout, I was starting to see some changes in my body. The most biggest difference that I saw is my abs. Here, my god, I was so happy to see my abs finally coming out and finally losing some belly fat. It was really difficult, and finally losing some chest fat. It was really difficult, but then it was worth. So this is one of the picture where I lost my belly fat and my abs started to show up, and yes, it felt really nice. Let's move on to the other picture. So yeah, it is the same day, the exact same day. I was trying to see how rounded my laterals are, the rear delt, the lateral, and the middle. I was trying to see my delts, how well rounded they are, shaping up or not. As you can see, the bicep are getting separated, and the veins are trying to show up. So this is the time that I started to enjoy myself a little more, because once you start to gain muscle, you start to enjoy yourself a little more. You feel really different from the inside, as you can see by the face. Like, yeah, it was prominent from my face even. As I said, it is prominent from my face. Yes, I'm not lying. I was really happy that at that point of my time, like, yeah, really, that is me happy. And yes, it was some sort of achievement for me to be able to get here. Yes, it really felt nice. And this is the image from another day where I was trying to position myself. I used to flex a lot. I used to see or check out myself in lighting conditions and see which muscle is growing in which way. I used to flex a lot. I used to try to learn flexing techniques in order to. Flexing is an important part of bodybuilding, and I used to flex a lot. And I was trying to get a really sexy photograph, and I was trying to like bend a little bit and to widen up my back muscle and to lean a little bit forward and take a picture. And yes, it came out to be nice. Yes, as you can see, I was a little bit leaning to forward and the back was a little bit hunch, but then anyways, let's move on to the other picture. This picture is around that time when I guess this is the same day, this is the same day, and this is a picture where my quadricep muscle are like developed. And yes, this picture was to amplify or to show my quadricep. I had different iteration of this picture, but then this is a picture. But anyways, it was nice. You can see my face was like getting losing fat. I was trying. I was shredding already, so my face was starting to like look slushed. And yes, let's move on to the other picture. I guess this is it from this folder. Like sustainability. Let's check out what is in this folder. Sorry. Sustainability consists of few of the pictures when I was struggling to keep up with the workout routines or the diet. Other pictures when like it was the time when I started or gradually losing my grip over my routine and my workouts and the diet, but I still kept on going and going. And these are the pictures from that time. As you can see, the veins are prominent, the shoulders are rounded up, my V taper is looking like nice. As I was saying, the V taper is looking nice. Yeah, you can see closely the V taper, as I was saying. So let's get moving to the other picture. This is the picture where I was shredded the least amount of fat that I had on my body, and I was developing the muscle simultaneously. Ignore the hairs, my body. I didn't trim all that. So all those people who think that bodybuilding is beautiful and you shit roses out of your asses while working out, dude, you need to keep a check. The times that you get groomed is even like the time you waste in grooming is the time that you can get into the gym and work out. So I had very little time to get groomed, which is like evident. Like I didn't even had time to get a proper haircut or get grooming. But then yeah, the results speak for itself. I was developing some muscles, and these are the results that I was really happy from. This is the point where I was really happy to the extreme from my transformation. Let's move on to the other picture. Anyways, yeah, it is from the same day. As you can see, the leanest I have been, the body, I look like really lean, and the proportions are like, I guess, yeah, the proportions are starting to get better. Like the shoulders, like the trapezius muscles, the rhomboid will be in the other picture. Yeah, the deltoids more rounded, the bicep more defined, the veins more prominent, the abs more visible, the chest, yeah, everything was great during this time. I was really happy, and this was the greatest pump of my chest muscles, as you can see. It is also because of the light which is falling on me is from the window that was in the gym. But this is a great pump. I enjoyed this day. I was working out like hell that day, and I enjoyed the result that I saw that day. Let's move on to the other picture. Yeah, it's from the same day. As you can see, my chest looks bigger, the shoulders, the delts more rounded up, my abs more prominent. My abs had a little bit of fat, just because I guess, yeah, I did eat after I didn't took care of my diet in the process. So a little bit of fat on my abs over here, but all in all, trying to keep up, which is why it is known as sustainability. But anyways, let's move on to the other picture. Yes, this is a picture that I wanted to, like, my trainer took, and yes, I'm proud of it. Yeah, I always love the butterfly that comes in the back of your body. It is lovely to see the Christmas tree, but I could have achieved a little more better, but somehow it couldn't be. But anyways, let's move on to the other picture. This is a picture taken at home where you can see I'm struggling. This is a picture where I'm struggling. I have a physique over here, but I also have developed some sort of fat over my body, and I'm struggling. This was a phase where I was trying to keep up with my workouts, but due to some reasons, irrespective of what it meant. This is the roadmap, the highway to hell. The veins are prominent so much that I was so happy. Like, yeah, I remember like watching bodybuilders and their veins popping out. There is a guy, Frank McGrath, who I always admired. And yes, seeing myself like that was a delight. Let's move on to the other picture. We're done for this folder. Let's move on to the other folder. Random pictures. Oh yeah, this is from a trip to Varanasi, where I was out of the gym. It was like 4 to 5 months out of the gym, but still retained the physique. And yes, it does makes a difference to hit the gym. It makes you look good. As I said, it makes you look good. You know, it not only changes you from the inside, but it really affects how you are being looked upon. It really does. And this is a picture where my physique is really prominent, and the kind of clothing that I'm wearing is really very like impressive. Like, I was impressed with the result that the way I was looking. So yeah, it was nice to see myself like this. Just as I was saying, yourself. But anyways, let's move on to the other picture. Enough. So this is a picture which a friend of mine from the gym took for me. I really wanted to take the picture. I was into the transformation phase and I was like really into it, and this is the time when I started really seriously developing the traits that I really like bodybuilding, and I am into bodybuilding, and I start believing that this thing can turn out to be really something good. And yeah, I do believe that I would return to bodybuilding soon. And yes, let's move on to the other picture. This is, I can ignore this. I can ignore even this. Yeah, I was trying to take a picture with wider lats. That's as simple as that. This is why I wanted to take this picture. And yeah, this is what I was looking after, like I guess 6 months into the training. Yes, I did. As I said, I like to be groomed. I like to keep myself groomed, but then yeah, we don't always shit roses. So yes, yeah, even in the gym things were turning out to be looking good. Yeah, this is also like trying to sustain myself. Yeah, bit of like I dropped to the lowest fat percentage of my body, and then I started to put on weight just because I like the amount of workout that I was doing and the amount of food that I was eating was starting to get miscalculated. And yes, but you know, when the fat start to deposit on your body, you start to look a little bit bigger, but you start to lose your definitions. And this is what exactly is going on right here. I look a little bit bigger, but don't confuse it. I lost a muscle in the process, and I developed fat over my body. Let's move on to the other picture. This is we can skip this picture. Yeah, so here, this is also from 6 months after I into my transformation. Like, I transformed from that person to this. And yes, this is the end of the story. I hope you liked my video. If you liked my video, please consider sharing, subscribing, liking, and commenting. How did you like my pictures, and what more do you want me to share with you? And I would really like your of how was the transition of, because for you these, for me 4 years lifetime, for me it was the experience from my why I was trying to get it. I would get back to bodybuilding as soon as possible. Yes, those 4 years made me more humble and allowed me to dive deep into different. That note, yes, bodybuilding. Next time, bye, take care.